Morning world. Happy Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Happy summer. Happy late 4th of July. We hope that you guys are having the most safe, sufficient, and happy summers you guys can have out there. Shout out to you from You Will Make It TV. And if nobody's told you today, you will make it. But I can only tell you, do you believe it? Huh? Today's topic is about the Boys and Girls Club, any after school programs, any programs in general that seem to want help fund or provide assistance for parents so that they can work. These fundings have been frozen, okay? So many states, I just keep waking up to that, like so many articles. Every time I turn around, it's another Boys and Girls Club. It's another YMCA. It's another facility saying that they have to shut down. Because y'all know places like Boys and Girls Club, summer camps, and stuff like this at daycares are usually prevalent in the summertime. Let's talk about why again. Why is because it's the summer. Like, these programs have always been here. There was even one at some apartments, if you're from, like neighborhoods and stuff. Some apartments would provide lunches in the office, right there in the leasing office, for hungry kids. I don't know why I never thought about that, as a matter of fact. That would be beautiful to do. Because, just because it's the summer doesn't mean every kid is at home eating. But before I jump back into the topic, y'all, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and share. You can always leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Until I transition over to my other platforms, I'll be going live over there too. Because here, I think we all see it glitches a lot. Somebody, just one monkey not finna stop the show, but somebody is always trying to like interfere almost with the stream. But what did we say on the short the other day? You got to be careful with some interferences, because that interference alone, if the sound is blowing on it, if that whistle is blowing on it in a real competition, some interferences are a whole opportunity for a free throw, a free play for your opponent. So you want to be careful with that. But when we get to our other streaming sites, we're definitely going to be making those announcements right here on our community board, and we don't want you guys to miss it. But everybody knows in the summer they used to have like lunch programs. The kids could go in the office and literally get a whole lunch, even if it was just milk, sandwich, some celery, and carrots. It was always a blessing. I always thought apartment complexes, communities that contributed into those summer lunch programs, they deserve 5 stars. You heard that from You Will Make It TV. If I had 5 stars to give y'all, I promise I would. But please, if you're able to still contribute or start stuff like that, I think we need to get on the ball, guys. Even if you don't have kids anymore, right? Like they say, our kids are grown. We already did that. How is that stopping you from making sack lunches, going to give them to your public apartment complex right now, or one that's across the street from you, or community centers, or libraries? I'm not telling people what to do, but I'm seeing what I'm not seeing. We can't just sit back and like, oh, he cut this and that off. Maybe that is his way of saying, yep, fend for yourselves. Because, baby, no matter what programs they cut off, baby, the kids got to eat. And us as kids, all of us that's grown right now, had we not been eating, we wouldn't be here. To have the kid, everybody on their podcast and news reporting stations saying what they got to say. But weren't y'all all kids before? Yeah, the news media people too. You were a child before. And how did you eat? What country did you come from? What was your basic diet? What did it look like, right? Because more and more programs, summer funded program, that were once government funded, I think the Boys and Girls Club, though, they always raise their own funding, but I think they might have even got some type of stipend from the government. Because see, they do like STEM programs, educational based programs that set these members up. They call the Boys and Girls Club students members or whatever, because it's a club. And it sets them up for a better future. They teach them financial literacy where they can, try to make opportunities for art and sports for these kids. I think you can start as early as the age of 5, and they see these kids to 18. And the ones that be like 15 through 18, they even create job opportunities for them. I don't know. I'm one of those that if I was at a protest, I'd be holding a sign saying, leave the Boys and Girls Club alone. Okay? That's just my personal opinion. Anything I state on here is just my opinions, commentary, and viewpoints. Nobody has to agree. But baby, if people did more research and see, or if you had children in that program before, you know how much of a loss that I guess you could say that would be for something like their funding to be frozen. But that's what I'm reading on all these different news articles. I find that crazy. Like, how is it already? I'm curious. How has it affected parents this summer? And this is just summer number one. Y'all do know a presidential term is 4 years, right? So you got next summer and the summer after. And these summers are only after winters, right? So it takes your research even deeper down the farmer research rabbit hole, because they're the ones who are really putting in the work and turmoil and hard work, who could really, if you want a prediction of what the food situations and stuff will look like in the future, talk to them. Watch some of their interviews. Interview some of those guys. If you don't talk to them at all, sit back and watch the changes on their farms and everywhere lately, okay? Because when weatherizations happen, I know people turn their head and be like, oh, it's just another flood. Oh, another hailstorm. Oh, another tornado messed up some crops. You know, it adds up. If tallies add up, destructions do, okay? Like, natural weather disaster destructions can happen anywhere. But did we know that every time our agriculture is affected like that, we'll see. That's why they probably already introducing geoengineered foods and drinks to us, because the regular food has probably been messed up. Okay, it's gonna continue to be messed up too. As long as the earth is messed up, you can't grow things right if the water is being contaminated every day. Come on now, the carbon dioxide and oxygen is almost fully polluted. If it were possible, every time you turn around, they're looking for a way to engineer something away, further and further away from God's original creation. And I don't mean to sound religious and spiritual about it, but what else do you call it? When you engineer something, you're changing it from its original form. Meat always was just cattle to us, animals, nothing more, nothing less. Vegetables and fruits was just that. It started as a seed, nothing more, nothing less. We add all these preservatives and then talking about, well, people seem insensitive today. What do you think is wrong with them? We don't even eat the same from 20 years ago. Most of us don't. We don't eat the same. We think we're eating as clean, as healthy, as on track. But people are not paying attention. I know they're not, because I hardly do. I just got back more on that track. Like, am I reading the labels on most of this stuff? I wouldn't care if it's candle wax, bleach spray cleaner, oven, what they call that stuff you use in the oven, degreaser. Are we reading the stuff on there? And this is why I'm bringing it up. Some of the stuff you read on the degreaser and bleach bottles, it's weird. Pay attention to the labels on your food. I should never see a same chemical over here on the on the Lysol can in a pack of Jello. When I read the ingredients on the pack of Jello, like, what does it tell me is on there, right? I should never see a word that I use to clean up my house on the same word on another label of some food in the house. That's probably a little off topic. I'm bringing it up because these educational programs like the Boys and Girls Club provided not just lunch programs for the kids in the summer, but healthy lunch programs. Don't miss that word. They didn't just give our kids anything. The last I checked in those lunches, baby, it's healthy food in it. It's a peanut butter jelly sandwich, carrots, celery, definitely milk. They're not just throwing them those sweetened up juices in the summer. It's milk. If your kids don't want the milk, they go to the water fountain, get them some water, okay? But they not just starvation. It's not an option when these programs were prevalent and people actually cared to give $1. You know how at Taco Bell, different places, they say, do you want to give $1 to contribute to the Boys and Girls Club or something? When they tell y'all that, just try to give what you can lately. That's my opinion. Go ahead and donate, because if you didn't know, Some of these new bills and things that's being passed actually freezes funding for these programs. If you freeze the funding for the program, I'm seeing what it did. Some of these places are already shutting down. They closed. It'll say closed temporarily because I guess these are temporary freezes. We don't know, but their accounts are on hold. I said, what? Places like Boys and Girls Club or community center YMCAs. That's why I thought they were always great. They're not just education centers and safe, healthy places for the youth to hang out. They're also food program places or places with resources that actually help. One Boys and Girls Club actually bought all the kids' shoes every school year. I don't know. If you've been to Boys and Girls Club program when you was little, feel free to hit that like button, leave your opinions in the comments in the chat. But there's a few of them I know, they gave the kids backpacks, school supplies, and shoes. They didn't ask you how much your mama or daddy make. Let me clarify that one time. The world today is a little more greedy and nosy. These programs, they don't care about how much your mama and daddy make or where they work or how much they accumulate. I knew when people turned into that and things became about that, we probably were in trouble as a country. Because, like, what? No matter who, you always gonna have a parent or two that's making more than somebody else's kids' parents. Make it make sense. That's why I can't sit back and too much judge anybody money situation ever. Even when mine change, it don't change. I'm up, I'm down sometimes too. But look, there will always, like I just said, be another parent or set of parents making less money than the next parent. What do you mean? Since when in the history of this country did every parent make the same income? That's just never been that. We just told them they were all right. They're good parents if they have a job, right? Well, even when they have those jobs, they're still going to be their parent, even if they work at the same company. Not everybody in the same company makes the same amount. What's wrong with people? It depends on your position. So I just appreciated those programs in the past for the kids, whether it was when I was a kid or they were doing it in the past 10 years. Even when COVID-19 happened, shout out to all the schools that got out there. I don't know. I think that was funded at the time, though, by the government. They let them pass out lunches. They had, like, set up station shops all summer long where the kids could come themselves. And you walk to that station. They had coolers. They even had those ovens. I don't know what those portable ovens are called, where it can hold like 100 trays. They would bring those outside, and they stayed out there. They stayed out there through the whole the summertime of the pandemic, just to make sure that, because they already know that, those are the wiser guys. Not every parent makes the same amount of money. Okay? So most parents are low class. Low class is still, people think they're not low class no more because they have a job. You're still low class until that job position that you're in pays you well over 6 figures a year. Period. You're not just finna sit here and turn the jobless against the job havers. Like, what? Because how does that matter now when even if you have a job, there's no more daycare programs or after school programs. Did I mention that? He's cutting funding to all of those too. What I'm saying is, if the parents are not, some of them, this won't be new to them because they've been probably paying out of pocket for child care and after school care, before school care. I'm trying to see what they talking about, because back when I was young, if you weren't at daycare in the morning and they didn't take you, there was before school care used to exist at school. What you mean? It would be staff there early in the morning. We definitely wasn't just kids outside hanging out on the basketball courts outside the school before they opened by ourselves. It was staff there. I wouldn't say that's before school care, but I'm sure all of our parents appreciated it. I mean, I just have a like, what, it has to be more of because I believe that Things could just look one way on the surface, but why, if this is just summer number one, and we know that this this term is going to be 4 years again, this just summer number one. I would say they cutting funding because more parents, they do agree with that, should do it independently, especially if they have been sitting back watching people do it. They know it's very possible. And maybe they finally stand up and say, that's not fair. How about all Americans pay for after school care? Because you can have a family of kids all different ages. And that baby would need the same care as those older ones do, even if it's before and after school. Before and after school, no matter where a baby go, they need somebody to burp them. They need somebody to change their diaper, to look after them. And it's never been free. I think we can all agree to that statement. It's never been free, even when we thought they were assistance programs. People thought we was just out here getting assistance. From the beginning of time, usually you have to show some type of proof of why you need the assistance. So, if you are low class out there still today, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Let people talk and be jealous and envious. What it is that's always been down off in people. They always felt that way about anybody who was able to find help outside of them. But if you was only worried about you to begin with, you would look at that as a blessing. Like, man, the more that person depend on themselves, the less I gotta do. What are they depending on me for? I think of all people, Donald Trump see that. He's more of a like, stand your own ground, stand on your own. Maybe people would thank him later too, because it's like, if it was just cut off at the last minute for obvious reasons, people would be left to fend for themselves. Did y'all see that? It's a new requirement in some states, but I think it's going to roll out everywhere in a minute. That's why I think some of these fundings are just temporary. They're frozen until these stipulations on the side, stricter regulations, more rules. I actually said that's needed because it's going to require 80 hours of work, job training. You won't just be on SNAP, Medicaid, none of that no more. You will have to work or be in job training or school for at least 80 hours a month. And that's for like an individual. If you're a couple and y'all getting them, which more people do need them today. The economy ain't changed so much. I think I saw in one state, they already kind of feeling the effect of gas prices straight up. It was gas or something I saw with the tariffs. Something about it was a whole 40% increase. I said today I would use, let me turn it off, I might even get a better connection. If it was a little glitchy or choppy just a second ago, I'm 18 minutes into the live. But what I did do is just disconnect from the Wi-Fi while I'm live, because I'm trying to see something. Some people, they connect different things, Wi-Fi, mobile data, but that is one thing you need to even have access to the internet while we're at it. And that's what affects when we're talking about the funding for some of these after school programs and stuff. They also have access to the internet, even at the schools. Like, the internet was always a bill, whether we knew the school had to pay it or not. You know how many computers they have in probably every classroom? And then you're talking about per school. Okay? So what's the point of having all those devices, laptops, MacBooks, computer screens everywhere, projectors, and you cannot afford the Wi-Fi moving forward because funding has been frozen or cut? I was just trying to see, how does that work? And I do. My grievances and condolences do go out to my supporters. They just, not just in that way, but my joy goes to them too, because I don't want to say my supporters, You Will Make It TV supporters, because we do actually hope to see You Will Make It TV grow. So it won't just always be me. When you support You Will Make It TV, you're supporting what we believe in. When it comes to inspire and keeping people inspired, being an inspiration for your brother or sister, or neighbors sometimes, because it's not always just about us. Even when my kids grow up, I said people will probably be shocked. You know, why not go, even if I don't adopt or become a foster mom, why not go and still make sure I'm doing what I can to contribute, donate, visit, drop off, invest in some things for those kids. Your job is not done because your kids are grown. As a humanitarian, that's the way my mind works, my heart and everything. It's homeless animals out there that people really feel like it's not their responsibility. But they don't like humanitarianism in there because it's like, that's very real. Those of us who believe that the whole world is all of our responsibility. As long as you here. It's like staying somewhere and saying, this place ain't my responsibility. But you stay here on earth and you say X, Y, and Z. And they choose their responsibilities too. It's just all kind of out of whack in my opinion. Overall, I hope to see a change, or hope to see that these freezing account cuts to educational programs, I personally hope that it's only temporary. When they know some of these programs where the kids get away. But you can more zoom in on homes. I hope stuff like this, not because I want to, but you can more zoom in on what everybody going through. You know what? Let's cut out these third parties. Let's cut out the daycares. Let's cut out the boys and girls clubs. Let's cut out the schools. Let's just cut the funding. Like, see who all really just sitting at home in their homes like they're supposed to be as parents with their kids every day, even through the school seasons. How is this going to be? Are they going to go to half days because they're receiving less funding? Not half days, or maybe like shorter school weeks, because that would save money. But I think some states have already implemented that as well. Their school schedules only are 4-day weeks or half days. They get 1 day a week where they all get to go home at like 11 o'clock in the morning. They don't even stay the whole day. I remember those privileges right there, though, those half days and stuff, until you had enough credits to get them in high school. Because some of us, people would talk about what you was doing away from school when you wasn't at school, but no, I know for myself, I can fend. Some of us by 10th, 11th grade had enough credits where we did not have to be at school all day. My right hand of God, like it's called free period. You might have the more credits you got early, you get more free periods. Maybe you get your free period on Thursdays and Fridays. It wasn't your friend's business, the teachers, nobody. When you leave school that day, your life is yours. You earned them credits to get 2 periods off a week. But I was on that level before in high school too. But the kids today, they get half days in elementary. And they get 4-day work week, whatever that's called, 4-day school weeks. I think it is 4-day work weeks in some places. But I was just wondering, like, that has to help the pockets of the company, or does it? Because, the longer and more hours you're open, it used to be known as the more you're getting done, the more money you're making. But people are actually resorting to 4-day work weeks. So they can, pay the people less? Save some money? I don't know. I ain't seen nobody get out here and complain about it lately. So I'm probably not going to speak on it too long because I see what they're doing with the live again today. But these are still insights. I might come in and introduce them as insights because I'm not going to stay on for an hour like I do in the past no more. But once you come in and even give an insight, that's a lot too. That's powerful because you give people a little bit to go do your own research. You know what I mean? Look at what's going on in our country right now, today. Not just the weather and the people themselves, but the laws that back it up, like the laws that are pushing things forward too. They quicker to make laws. They're busy making laws while we're fighting out here. That's crazy. It's like, hey, don't we need to be guided on how to fight, what to do? Nope. It's time people fend for themselves. And it's like they attack that first. Anywhere they feel like it seems like they roll out something friendly and like, oh, this for the kids. It's so quick to take it away. You gotta watch that. Cause if you implement with for the kids, what you so quick to like cut the fun and take it away for? No, cut the wrong people out. If you ask me, stop paying people more than what they worth too. Y'all paying the ones that could probably get the jobs done way more, and then you want to X out the ones, and then say, oh no, just we got to cut funding to this. It must not have been an easy decision. People still stuck in they like they start taxpayer money. Didn't you just turn from taxes to tariffs, or are they still stuck in the past, guys? Y'all hit the like button when you can. Should record inspiration quotes. I post them daily because I don't just talk my topics. I look at life from a broader perspective now. All I can come do is bring insight, or even in my everyday life. It's probably why people don't like seeing me hold conversation with people too long. They already know I'm gonna start talking about something real, bro. After so long, what we standing here talking about? we got pets, we got kids, we got bills. What are we talking about? And I'm not just like that on screen. Look how they tried to control it though. Nobody just said, I'm gonna wake up and start. No, you still you. You just do it on live broadcasting. It might turn to public speaking one day. However people looked at it then is how they look at it. Like, oh, she just talked too much. She think too much. I'm just using myself for an example, but anybody, if you allow people to box you into something, they will try to, and put tape on the box so you can't get out. Like, they want you to be their Barbie doll. Shout out to Nocturnal. We love you. Thank you for the love. I'm not with that. It's just like, how bad are we doing? Why are you digging in the kid programs? Leave that fun on. There's so much other stuff need to be cut. Just cut. No, why is money still going to it type of deal? Shout out to Texas again for banning and to the victims in the flood that's being reported lately out there. I think it's Hillside County. Uh, our prayers and thoughts are with you. You will make it TV. I wouldn't know what to do really, like in a flood, but I've been flooded spiritually, so I know what it is like. I've been flooded spiritually in life through different seasons of my life. Some of us have, and we don't know it. You didn't look at it as a flood situation in the spirit. You just knew 1,000 issues seemed to be piled on you at one time. And if that's not compared to a flood, I don't know what is. But so don't look at them and say, oh, they having a flood. How unfortunate. Some of us are being flooded right now. You got this bill, that problem, that person mad at you. The dog needs shots. The refrigerator needs to be cleaned out. That's a flood in your life. You got a flood. You got things everywhere. And you just on the raft trying to hang on. Amen. And we know that it's possible because those people out there, some of them did survive, but there are victims that fall to that. Whether it's a spiritual flood, if you ask me, or a physical flood. There are people that don't make it through that. Some of the best swimmers. Okay? I would say maybe the top best swimmers are always going to be the Marines, the Olympics, or who else? The Coast Guard people. Thank God for them, and we want to keep our thoughts and prayers with them too, because they put their life on the line to get out there. Every time these Coast Guard issues happen, somebody's stuck. I was watching a documentary about the Titanic just the other night, right? It wasn't my first time, and then I just find myself, like every time I research the Titanic story, I find out something more and more new, I promise. And that's probably one we've been hearing about since little kids. But now that you're just an adult, it's more access to knowledge and stuff out here, you know, just find out more about the Titanic, man. Some people, there are very few, but there's a few survivors. It's 2025 now. The survivors that were here, shout out to them because they uh they wrote books, they did, you know, stories on some of the people that had taken the trip on it. I'm just thinking everything got to do with flooding suddenly because it's been a lot of flooding. And shout out to that town in New Mexico too. Y'all are in our thoughts and prayers. I don't just scan through news. I'll really be praying for people if I see like a tragic thing, because you know you can overcome some things here with the right amount of resiliency and strength. You can overcome some things, but it doesn't take away from the trauma you induced through that, right? Physical strength is just that. You can make it through you better ask the Hurricane Katrina victims. You can make it through a flooding situation just because you can swim, or, you know, you might have had some raft boats. Yeah, you can probably make it through a flood. It was a lot of powerful stories from the Hurricane Katrina situation. And but that didn't mean it didn't induce trauma. Some of those people still have trauma to this day. What are y'all saying? If they experienced it and they was in it, there are still survivors from that, just like the Titanic. But these probably wouldn't be comparable or something, because the Titanic was some bigger cruise, and Hurricane Katrina, it was just like more lives were claimed. Anywhere it happens, it's the same level of tragedy. You know what I mean? It's still tragedy. You like, oh, you survived. Let's celebrate. That's why I'm gonna celebrate. I've survived too many tragedies. Ain't no way you gonna tell me it's Tuesday and I can't sit home and reflect and be grateful and thankful and smile the whole time in my house, because I know what I survived. Even when I start complaining, it don't last too long. I gotta sit here and remember what I done literally survived already on a day like today, boy. And you just are satisfied. It ain't just that the traumas disappear or something like that. It's just that, man, look how much I survived. Probably not. I wasn't in the Hurricane Katrina thing, but I was there through the Texas snowstorm. That wasn't no joke. Them snowstorms ain't no joke, boy. I'ma grab her blanket real quick. Snow is just like water. I told y'all I've been flooded out spiritually before. Many times. It's like the devil said a whole flood, like, he just for sure. He for sure. Because you can't make it through that unless you can swim or something. Yeah, you got to be able to swim, kick. Oh, also roll with the waves. Waves are also inclusive with flood type situations. I guess if you look at it spiritually, the waves gonna for sure come with them floods. That's how ignorant the devil is. It ain't even just a flood when he come in to try to flood your life. It ain't even just a flood. Why it's gonna be waves, lightning, thunderstorm? What you mean? I was like, people don't talk about this. Yeah, you can be flooded in the spirit, burnt in the spirit. It all starts spiritually first. It started somewhere, probably as a thought, as an intent, somewhere floating out there in the atmosphere. Seriously, just like in weather. I think weather, God created it though, was supposed to show us things about life. Straight up. Why do a flood come with waves? Think about it. Tsunamis and typhoons are even worse. That's why they real life do that at schools and education centers. They practice tornado drills, fire drills. Notice they don't do no drill for the rain. Ain't no drill for that. When it rain, at educational facilities. They just might miss recess that day. They might miss recess or have free time. I used to love when it rained at school though. I knew it was gonna be an easy day. I'm finna finish this work and lay my head down on this desk and have an easy day. I miss those days too, cause they'd be like, they gonna call on you. They gonna pick on you. You got your head down. Your work must be done. I don't know. It would be kids try to do what I do though. But when they come to that question, like, your work must be done. Yeah, it's done. Bring it up there. And they like, well, let me grade it. Be down. So you let them grade it. Sometimes the whole paper, it's like, well, go on. I can't mess with you. You finish your work. No, I just think that's messed up though. Like, they should leave the kid funding programs alone. After school program, education ones. I'm just saying kid funding. No, education programs. Anything surrounds education. Features, products, systems. Why would we? I mean, what are we planning on doing? Rebuilding the whole thing? I guess I wouldn't be mad at that. But what is the basis here? This is just the first year of presidency. Maybe it's being temporarily cut too, because right now they are kind of like been doing it, like on this whole ICE illegal immigrant thing. And maybe they got this stuff closed. It don't matter, because they've been coming in some of them places I heard. Like, it don't matter. It could be a kid play, a school, a YMCA. They coming in there if you're illegal. I don't know, but I don't think that's why this is about funding being cut or temporarily frozen. Funding being cut or temporarily frozen. That's a whole different. That's different. Like, that's not putting people. That's like, and like I said, people just keep. I guess I don't talk to people that much about it now, because they go back to the same thing. Like, well, what our tax dollars pay for. That's not gonna be an easy transition for anybody used to everything being surrounded by taxes. Some people are. We said the word of, not today, but the word of yesterday was resilience. We posted right there on the community board, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna always be okay or aware of every change. They probably wish, narcissists, controlling, God control like-minded people, they probably wish the word resilience wasn't real, but it very well is. It was here before they existed. Resilience been here since the beginning of the world. Just the existence of it. Like, what do you mean? It's a real tangible thing to possess. I would say it just like a coat or a pair of shoes, it needs to fit you if it's gonna be on you. It might even be too big at first, but you'll grow into it. Something like resilience. So back to what I was saying. In my opinion, resilience is you not always being aware right when a change is going to happen, what that change is going to be, keep going, how that change is going to affect you after that change. Resilience is, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay no matter what the change is, no matter when it happens. Even if I don't agree with it, even if I don't like what surrounds it or what. Resilience is not, I wouldn't say 100% submission to things. That's where people have it twisted. You're not submitting or bowing or giving into something just because you're resilient to something. You've become resilient to that thing, place, or person, or matter. Those type of matters. Certain professions where if you're not resilient, you're not going to make it long in a career. You got to be able to switch positions when you need to. Type up this paper when you need to. Answer the phone where you need to. Keep a level head when you're a cashier and it's a line of 50 people and they're all ready to get out the stove. That's resilience. The people that's waiting in line and you. having the patience to keep that job at that moment. Some people are not resilient like that. They not finna sit here. One situation at work, they done quit. That's not a resilient person. A resilient person, though, if they do quit, they got a better position. They got a better position than that last one. Actually they get paid a little more. It might not even be a better position. It's closer to them. They have more favor in there. Straight up. Or they start their own business. It begins to flourish. Nobody who start their own ventures did it not starting their own ventures at some point. And then you need that time and space to actually put it into that venture, that hobby, that skill, that task. That's what I loved about like me. I wasn't a member when I was little, but I know that the Boys and Girls Club does help to prepare children for not just like jobs and careers, but like specific. They help to cater to specific talents and skills these kids might have, especially in athletics, science programs. So I'm advocating for them for a second. It's like if you see somewhere, oh yeah, their websites too, guys. Their websites have information. You just type in Boys and Girls Club of your state, of your community, or maybe one of the nearest ones. But they're always going to have a section where you're able to donate. DONATE. Yeah. I think you can become a monthly one, a yearly one, but if we love these programs for our kids, yeah, we're going to have to start pretty much that's it. If the government cut their part of funding or freeze it, that don't mean you can't continue to operate. That's a different thing when they tell you got to shut it down. He didn't say y'all can't operate. He said sudden funding is froze and sudden funding is cut. That's it. Now, you want this stuff open, y'all fund it. Y'all raise the money. Y'all do more work. What's wrong with that? If you want these programs open, after school programs, y'all want to pull together all the moms, put $100 in there, and make sure that this building stays open. That's something that communities are going to have to start choosing to do on their own. Maybe more on a city level or state levels. Really pulling together and say, look, in our states, what programs do we really need and not need? You really getting the opportunity to do that. I mean, because, yeah, that's the only other option. These places actually get shut down. The buildings get shut down. What do you think happened if you don't have the funding to keep it operating? Maybe you feel like the last minute man who want to run in there and body like, hey, that's just more giving y'all the opportunity to fund the stuff yourself. Okay? Or maybe their prices will go up soon, just to try to keep those places open, but they will be shut down if they don't keep funding for it. All of the after school programs, they mean be there on time to come get your kids. So how many people you gonna have being able to stay at work past 3-4 o'clock? I think middle school, high school kids get out at 4:30. If all after school program, daycare program, Boys and Girls Club, all this stuff get cut, nobody can keep a job. I'm just saying what it looked like. I don't know if these people that's putting this stuff together know this, but this is what it looked like. So you saying there is no after school program. Everybody need to be there to pick up their kids by 4:30. Who gonna have a job in the daytime? People don't get off they might get off at 5. Or they gonna, after school program or athletics, different stuff, the kids could hang out at the school after school. They sound like a bunch of teachers that's just like ready to go home. It was helpful for parents too, because don't no teacher or office aide want to wait there till you get there. They be ready to go home too. How dare they go touch the after school program fundings and stuff. I wonder how the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and all them doing too. But this is just stuff that was always familiar to us and the kids in the communities. That a lot of people didn't know probably did get, even if it was just a percent or a little bit, they got some type of funding from the government too. to keep those programs going. I can even see me getting back on what I was on, like maybe starting more of our own too, because y'all know how that is. Like, I bet even the Boys and Girls Club know, they do more like fundraisers, y'all. Like, they sell candy, they do fundraisers. Ain't no just, oh, donate. I was just saying that's an area where you can do it on a website. I didn't say they be out here begging for you to, but they've been in years, whether you contribute or not. And they inspire me. They inspire me. That's all I'm gonna say. But whether people chose to contribute or not, there are always organizations, other businesses that might want to help contribute. Like, they give their own charity amount every year to keep places like that open. The schools, though, that's a bigger deal. People wasn't really doing that. They just feel like, oh, our tax dollars pay for it. Well, if taxes is turning to tariffs and certain percentages of school fundings are being cut and people's wages are being garnished, even if they went to college, who's trying to slap education in the face here? And that's a biased opinion. Most people in the world believe in education. Now, education is not a religion unless you start trying to make it that. That's crazy, man. Like, just how I see it from our perception. Are we looking at it this way? Now, you can X out every other religion, book, do what you need to do, be you. But why? Leave education alone, baby. Now trying to control people's right to that. Now that's where the game changes. Maybe I'm just babbling on. What? Education is not a religion. Like, no. You can religiously study something, yeah. And no matter what you break down, there's education behind it. There's nothing in your refrigerator, freezer right now ain't got education behind it. Somebody, the HVAC people, the electronic people put the engineers put the refrigerator together. You just use it every day. You know what I mean? Education. Everything we do, there's an education, a science behind it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of glad it's like that. Because now, when people try to play with that, like, oh, I want to play with your right to education. What? But you're going to leave the internet on, TikTok out here. You know we still going to be educated, right? But now you're trying to control what's educating us. Do not play with the Gen Z, the millennials, the younger era like that, because some of us might see it. That's crazy. Like, what was wrong with us learning out the books? We didn't say nothing when books went digital, did we? I'm one of those that actually try to, like, help people publish digitally, show them, look, the world is changing. This is how people read the news now. This is how people get the newspaper. Girl, you don't need it at your door no more. Girl, you can watch Star Telegram right here on the Newsbreak app. But we cool with that. What did I say on the short the other day? I love the internet like everybody else. I'm not finna let it box me in. And I meant maybe educationally. Nobody ever comments and be like, what does the symbolism of this quote mean? Because some of my quotes are artwork. That's what a quote is to me. So, yeah, that's what I meant by that. The internet's not going to box me in. Number one, I meant that with education, too. I meant that ties into this topic. You want this platforms with an S, because that's how you can slowly begin to get people mind if they're not careful. Education gets our mind, doesn't it? Whether it's positive or negative. What you're being, it affects your mind somehow. You just taught this person 2 + 2. You just taught this person how to cook an egg. Like, come on, bro. If you are only letting the internet teach a person, yes, that's going to have some type of effect. And then get mad at people telling me, you can't believe everything on the internet. Well, stop messing with our education fund programs. Our education, our government funded education programs. What are you doing? But then gonna try to tell me what I can and can't believe and be educated on the internet. Now you're going too far with my educational rights. But this is if I was standing up for my privilege and my right and showing my love for my freedom of education. This is just a topic I'm talking about today, but I feel like it matters. Like, am I saying this here? You giving us all in all access, like infinite access to the internet. We even got 5G. It's the highest speed you can even learn something. What you mean? We got to be careful with that too. We used to take our time and learn. People watch one video and they've learned everything about Germany. because they watch one video. They watch one documentary on TikTok or YouTube, and they're gonna tell you, "Yep, I'm now educated in Germany. I believe that I've been educated about Germany today." And you ask them, "Well, where did you get your information?" "Oh, I got it off this thing on the internet." And they're gonna hit you with, "Oh, girl, you know you can't believe everything on the internet." And I'm like, now wait a minute, you are right about that, and why would you think I do? Me of all people, you know what I mean? I was actually here before this was here. I probably barely made the mark in between the eras, but I was here when they made the Apple computer. Probably not. They probably made that the first one in the 70s or 80s or something. But I'm talking about like the technology we have to here. I was literally here. From the flip phones to the blueberry phones, what was they called? The blackberry phones. I seen every phone, bro, from the beginning. You talking to the wrong one when you say don't believe everything I see on the internet. Duh, I saw all this happen. I saw it all happen. Like, that's crazy. You would, duh. I don't know. That's one of them duh. I rarely say that word to people because I think it's rude. But that's a duh moment. Like, why would I believe everything on the internet? I don't care what part of the internet it is. Social media too. I ain't finna believe everything I see on there. Even on a person's profile. You like, yeah, girl, that's me right there. I don't have to believe that. Oh, so that's just that. Believe and unbelief still some kind of way ties into education, if you ask me. But where we are being educated, because they'll judge you like that too, y'all. Like, they used to care. I don't know if employers care as much, but they'll be like, okay, did you go to school? It depends on what kind of position you have. They're going to ask you that. Did you finish high school? Did you go to college? Uh-oh, here come that golden question. What college? You know why they ask you? Because it used to matter. It used to matter. You know, they do care about the education, but it used to matter like where you got it too, okay? Because you got people that could just print up papers, make papers and stuff now, and then try to discredit your real documents. How does that work? Actually try to stop you from obtaining new documents that you have a legal right to obtain. You're like, I want a passport today. You have a legal right to go obtain a passport if you meet all the qualifications. Oh, I want to go get a new driver's license. I want to go apply for this type of credit card. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can, in some countries, like our own, you have the right to go do that. Then people get funny, like, oh, well, no, all her stuff is fraud. We doing what we supposed to do. And that's why I ain't gonna speak too quick about some of the decisions that I see Trump make lately. We never know what's like the reasoning, the real reasoning. All we can do is conspire, talk amongst each other's, wonder, and have our opinions. No, that's going back to education. Knowing why he made certain decisions and put certain stuff in the big bill. I'm not saying he's perfect, but it's probably whole reasons behind it. I just said that's odd though. Anything educationally, like, leave that alone. If anything, put more securities and security cameras in the classrooms. You can spend money on that. So we can see what's going on with our children. And we can have an app where we can see in the classroom. You know how you can have a camera at home and you out, but you got the app where you can see your house all day. Of course, nobody sits around on their phone just watching their house on the camera all day. You're probably busy working. You went out for a reason. But I'm saying that we have the level of technology today where they are able to hook a camera to an app and you can see your kid in the classroom. They should have been put this in the schools. And the locks on the doors, I don't know what they have to do about that, but people shouldn't be easily being able to walk in and hurt people. I'm trying to think, were they doing that back then? You didn't hear it as much when we were in school. Everybody knows when you walk in them schools, you need to check in at the front desk. Only an idiot who doesn't have kids or didn't go to school themselves don't know that. I don't care what part of the world you go to. You walk up in that school, you probably need to check in the front. Like, why are you just walking in schools feeling like you can do what you want to do. I'm just reminding everybody, whether your tax dollars were paying for it or not, before your tax dollars were quote unquote paying for education like you thought or think, what did you think people had to go through for this system to become what it is today? There were people that had to go to segregated schools. They had to walk there with no shoes. And then when they get off school, help their daddy in the farmland. Do people know how far education came from for some people? Like, that's why I take it as disrespect sometimes. Like, please don't tell me. I'm not one of those you need to tell, don't believe everything on the internet. If I said something about something I saw on the internet, that's all that could be. But I wouldn't dare let that be the only thing educating me for the rest of my life. Like, the only place I'm getting education. It wouldn't be a choice. It wouldn't be a whole preference. Of course, if that's all I have access to, do the best you got with what you have. That's what I say about it. But don't let that be the only thing to educate you. That's the point of getting out more. Getting more information from experienced people. Getting books and more. Just make sure your knowledge not just coming from the internet. Anybody. They want to only make it true about the new. No, that's about everything. That's about anything on the internet. You don't have to believe. I mean, you believe is one thing, but allow that to educate you. For example, let me give an example. It's a website right now called mathpapa.com. It's a lot of them that I'm aware of that people wouldn't know, but when you've been a college, because my first time I was going for a bachelor's, I know the journey. When we said the word of the day yesterday was resilience, this is why. I remember, when you first go, you signing up for a 4-year program. Maybe my goals changed in the middle. I wouldn't say my career field or like major changed, but my goals changed. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this not gonna work out. Me trying to do this for 4 years right now? No. I mean, and who else better to make that decision than you? So I switched that 4-year program. Could I? They would have changed goals. I don't want to do that. I'm finna just right now do what I need to do. That is costly. When you, just to advise people, y'all know it's the summer right now. Some of these guys are going to be going back to school in August, but they're college students. And you shouldn't, either wait till you're ready to go, wait till you really know what you want to rush you. Son, you need to go to college. Because that happened to me. Sometimes for some people that change, like they don't even want to do what they're there for. The first year, they just have to continue doing it so they make their parents proud or something. I don't know, but your career, interest can change. Like, why are people pretending that? Or it's like, we don't want it to change. We want y'all to just go to work. And it's like, do they think we don't hear the negativity in some of their political? We can go to work, sir, but what is the work that, not just while I'm here, some of our ancestors, and what is the work that we have put into to have that level of authority? Like, yeah, I can switch my career, change whenever I want to. That's the goal of elevating yourself in education. So yeah, I'm just personally going to always take it offensive for somebody to downplay it, call themselves cutting the access to it, the funding to it. Like, for what? You let all these other people finish college and owe all these student loans. They the ones with the big positions. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. But this law applies to everybody. This new bill, anybody who owes student loans is going to be susceptible to wage garnishments and everything being seized too over something like student loans. They like, oh, I'm not a criminal. Yeah, do you still owe $100,000 in student loans right now? Then you are a criminal, especially if you're not paying on them. That's how our president is looking at it right now. Straight up, they need to pay attention to themselves. The only one owe over $100,000 in student loans is those that probably had to go be doctors, lawyers. Come on now. You owe that much money though, and he's saying you ain't made a payment towards it, but we see you doing everything else. You can be susceptible to wage garnishments and all of this. Y'all, they better go read the new big bill. I'ma read it too again when I can. What? I'm not saying it's bad or nothing. People should have been making their payments. I'm talking about me too. But my story different. I just graduated not that long ago. Some of these people, they've been through with school 5, 10 years, 20 years. Because they quick to tell you how long they've been doing what they doing, but don't want to earn your respect. They just want to tell you how long they've been doing what they doing. They don't want to earn your respect. Just like you should respect me because I've been in this field of realtor for 20 years. I don't want to use that profession. I'm talking about something that I know for sure you have to have an education to practice in that career field. That's crazy that you would just come in and downplay everybody's education. Don't downplay it. But I agree with him on that. If you've been a doctor at this point 12, 20 years, and we catching you doing other stuff, but you ain't paid your student loans, it could seem petty to people, but, yeah, come out. Oh, yeah, that might be my next topic, so y'all stay with me. Because, they say credit card companies are suing people. So, no, it's not just the U.S. Department of Education, but, yeah, they've been, there had some funding cuts, too. And also, there are credit bureaus that are not just finna, okay, we'll stick this on your credit. They're not doing that no more. This is what they're doing. If you owe these credit bureaus now, they wanted people to understand, we want to be this petty. We will come after your assets, your money, your bank accounts, your wages. If you owe, so that's just a heads up. People might want to get on calling these credit bureaus. That's what Trump's saying. Y'all should be busy with this. You say you believe in red, white, and blue so much. You say you believe in politics. You say you believe in what your tax dollars paid for. But are you one of those walking around out here with student loan debt up to your knees? But you thought you was better than somebody. And that's God. That ain't Trump. That's God. Like, how are you better? Because you went to college, but you still owe the college $50,000. And it's accruing interest the longer you go not paying it. Because they just sign this stuff, get the degree, and go do what they want to do, and then start treating people under them like, what? Some of these schools, some people got in, they forgot they were in it. It could have been like medical assistant, dental assistant, those technical type colleges. Because we know with a license or certification, that's still education, but that's not like you going for years and have to get this type of education. So that's different. That you got to pay when you get a license or certification, you usually have to pay for that. It ain't no student loans with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is sometimes, but it's very rare. If it's one of those licenses you can get in 6 weeks, 1 month, 2 weeks or something like that. You just pay that. You pay that flat out, and then you can pass the test. They just not gonna send you the certificate. That's probably what you pay for, the test anyway, when it comes to those type of classes. But I don't know. Y'all get what I mean. It's still education. But with the U.S. Department of Education, it's not just them. And the student loan people, credit bureaus are now finna start suing people. They want their money. So that's what I see. It's just gonna be the next 4 years, a bunch of people suing everybody. I don't say nothing wrong with that, but I do say it's bad because not everybody's gonna win. Everybody just running around with chickens with their head cut off trying to sue the next person. Me and God just sit back and laugh because he like, nah, my child, you ain't tripping. They already starting it. You see what you see. It ain't on no like small scale like people think either. Like, people bringing up things from 35, 50 years ago. I mean, this is probably meant to happen. Everybody want to sue. You got countries suing each other. Not just people, not just people. That's what y'all thought I meant. Not just, you got businesses, companies, countries, whole countries suing each other. Like they into it with each other right now. Like, why is everybody so angry? I really asked the wrong question. Not why is everybody so angry, but why is everybody clearly everybody's broke. And then you grateful when you can go from broke to just a few $100s. You grateful. These people trying to just everybody in a suing battle, a suing war. You can tell where some of that came from. It's like it's people out here probably been surviving that way. All they money came. They ain't gonna tell us. Some of these people is sitting pretty the way they is because they done sued everybody they had the chance to sue. And that's been going on. I'm just saying how it's being magnified, whether they admit to what I'm saying right now or not, and how it's going to get worse. And I don't think it's healthy because not everybody's going to win. And then you have all this stupid retaliation. And either way, they just looking for a reason. Everybody's suing each other. The the individuals, the companies, the businesses. I've never seen them. Like I said, I knew like people did that. I just watched a lot of TV too, so I would know. Movies, but not in this way where it's like you got a high level of people who just want to bring all this stuff forth, like all these sudden allegations, all this sudden this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. Like, yeah, eras and periods like this have happened before, like the civil rights era or women's right movement. We've had these. That's what I love about my country right now, if it matters to anybody. But knowing that we have rich history. That's a funny way to put it. We got rich history, and people had more, integrity. They had more courage to stand up and sue. Because I can see if it's for like certain rights. You know what I mean? Rights is not even money. You are fighting for rights, so you can't compare. Like, oh, was she trying to sue for this and he trying to sue for that? No, like where some of us come from, they started suing for rights, RIGHTS. That don't mean you coming for money. What is a right? A right to obtain money, a right to work in peace, a right to live in peace. We have rights. What did I say? What I love about my country. Today's date is July 9, 2025, and I did celebrate the 4th of July. I had fun out there. Because to some people, it's just history. And they only want to get political when it comes to their money. But did they know when it comes to real politics, we wasn't out here suing for money. We were suing for our rights. What's that one, like the Jim Crow law, just different, or the women's rights movement, like I said. Labor unions, those started somewhere. Labor unions didn't always exist. This extra code of protection for when people felt like they are not protected at work or they can't speak up about something. These things took time, and then they were incorporated into law. Anyways, what I'm talking about, it looked like people getting to just suing each other, and they doing it for money. Just to even be able to see it from that bigger perception, and that it's happening more at a rapid rate also. And yeah, me as a judge, I'd be like, why all of these at one time? Are we amidst another great movement? Are we going to take all these cases serious? Because just as quick as Trump changed stuff sometimes, there are still good people out there working to help us keep as many rights as possible. And we want to keep those people in our positive thoughts and prayer. We just don't know what all come with their level of political jobs all the time. Especially when one wants to fight for the right thing and somebody trying to stop them. See, in that type of work environment, that shouldn't even be going on. You make it a fair political debate. You make it a fair political fight. They got to first be practicing that before they come out here and call us crooks and criminals. It's criminal to just want to, like I said, some of these people sitting the way they is because most of their money they obtained was through suing people. They just thought they was going to skate by with continuing to create scams that they can slide by later and sue somebody. But you the one created the whole scam. Come on, bro. You created the whole setup so you can come back and sue them. That's why I said everybody ain't gonna win. They can get out here and play that stupid suit game, make it a trend. Of course people gonna be stupid. If you're trying to control their only education coming from internet screens. Cause who's putting the information on the screens? Like, huh? Everybody on the internet they do not have a college education. They don't have some of them people on there, the only education they even tend to today to compare it to education is what they're reading on the internet. And yes, you can tell when something is a credible source or not. If you can't, there are ways to be able to cite or research the citations of what you're reading so that you know whether it's legit or not. I couldn't put myself in the same arena of like how people think. You can tell when a page is fraud or, if you are looking at the sites and the sources like you're supposed to be, you was going to see that. It's only a mystery if people play dumb too sometimes. You didn't cite. You don't have no real evidence that person created that page or that's their voice because you have no credible sources. You have no sites to say what you're saying is true. But everybody think they got what it takes to go up there and stand up and start doing everything to people. Yeah, I'm going to sue everybody, and everybody wants to sue each other. It sounds like some type of money grab scheme. I don't know, like, could the U.S. Education Department and other educational entities, maybe stand up and fight for more rights, our right to that funding and why that funding is crucial. There have been some people talking about it though. All I was saying is like, why that area of stuff versus others. Anyway, stay tuned guys, I'm finna come right back live. My next topic is about how credit card companies are about to start suing, people who owe them money. And what do y'all think about that? Because before that, you had all these insurance fraud things being reported. Like, I think what we seen overall is just a bunch of stupid stuff people did during the pandemic. Just catching up. And even if pandemic, that don't mean they were able to get around to every single situation during the pandemic. Do you know how busy emergency responders were during that time? Even the hospitals were overstaffed. Ambulances, every time you turn around, another ambulance got to go somewhere. It was the COVID-19 pandemic. So, of course, if real matters and issues were going on surrounding that and just help you was trying to give a bunch of people while that was going on, it was people out here doing stupid stuff. Now they some of the main ones want to call themselves coming back around in 2025 to sue somebody. Them the main ones, the ones that was doing stuff they had no business during the pandemic. I bet if they look at it like that, you'll see something. Don't look at everybody now. Look at who they was during the pandemic. Who was they with? What was they doing? Who did they know before the pandemic? What did they have to sign up for? What did they go through during the pandemic? What caused them to need some money? Because with most people, it was the fact that they had to be vaccinated at work, blah, 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 blah. Everybody remember. They don't give you the right to go out there and I don't know, I guess victimize other people. Because, something... I told y'all, those weatherization things, natural disasters actually traumatize people more than I feel like society gives credit for. They'll just say, no, it had to be something in that person's childhood. It got to be something in their food or their drugs. It couldn't have possibly been trauma from the pandemic. Yes, it could have. And how long did that one natural disaster last? That one. Some people had already been through Hurricane Katrina. Then you turn around years later, they're going through something called the COVID-19 pandemic. So I would say some probably have heightened trauma. Maybe some people's heightened trauma turn into just now they're a warrior. They're like, okay, whatever come my way next. Resilience is like you don't know. You don't know how you're gonna make it out of. You don't know what the next thing gonna be, how it's gonna come at you, who is gonna come through this time. You just know you ready. You expect it. That's resilience. They got nothing to do with how much you weigh. That's a mind strength. Resilience, like you done already made up in your mind. Like no matter what, I might not know how it's coming, who it's coming from, how it's gonna happen this time, but I'm ready. Like that, resilience. And now the education department the U.S. education department has to also practice this. Like we all are the same. That's all I was trying to say. Equality. We should have never created rights that we can't afford. That's like, you know how they literally write a check? You're not supposed to do that unless you know the funds are there. That's like writing a check you can't afford. To write a right and tell people this is their right. And then what? The day comes that we can't afford these rights anymore, so we wipe them away. And, oh no, this is getting too expensive. Letting everybody have free speech. We're going to have to cross this out. That ain't crossed out. Or this is getting expensive, letting everybody have a pursuit of happiness. This is getting more costly than we thought. Only Satan would say something like that. Because, like, the Bible had already said that the wages of sin are death. And it literally say wages as in, like, sin is never free. You just freely do it. That's the deception. You freely do it, but it's at the cost of somebody, someone, even yourself, and you don't know it. So you told everybody, yeah, you had a pursuit of happiness, and it's your right. You got the freedom to talk how you want, wear what you want, have your own religion. Don't give people rights you can't afford. Just like you wouldn't write a check you can't afford. Don't sit there and write, no, this is your rights. You can live here, and this is your apartment. Don't give people no rights, and you can't afford that right. But you want to see what she can afford with a right you call yourself giving her. She signed to that right, so she wants to use her rights, and then people get offended for you speaking up for yourself or using your right. That's just your right. That's not a sword. That's not a weapon. They don't like that. That's a whole spiritual revelation. Like, people don't like to really see people live in a right or know their rights or live their rights. Well, maybe if we turn everybody towards the internet, they ain't gonna know what their rights is anyway. That's a crazy, possibility of a motive. You turn everybody more towards this. The people that still want to go to school and learn out of books and go to school and be there, they should have the funding there for that. And they like, we ain't gonna use y'all tax money no more. This is tariffs. And you don't tell us how much we can contribute. This is not coming out of a percentage of your taxes anymore. Really soon, this might be what it looked like. But fundings of some of this stuff has already been. Imagine how many were just getting through the summer. That worked in the education department. They was getting in the summer. Getting good. Probably spending money, having a good summer like they always do. When the teachers and everybody on break. But then they gotta sit there and see. They go check the news like, no, baby funding been cut. So have you been spending all your savings on the cruise this year? Because it was your summer break? Some of them saw that, that teachers were already quitting and going on strike and different stuff though, but not this year. Just saying since the pandemic actually. Some of them in some states say they were promised higher pay, but they never got it, or it didn't go the full percent that they were promised. So they used their right. They exercised their right to protest. And people going as far as protesting for their wages, we were already seeing that in 2025. They weren't just, not 2025, I'm sorry, during the pandemic. If people had to go, if some of the actors and actresses went on strike too. They had a protest. I remember seeing the news thing about it. Now, people going on whole strike, and maybe some of it they fixed. That's like the only option they're giving people. You're not fixing their wages. They got to go to whole court and sue. That's what's been happening. So I said I understand that for like real rights, not people just trying to go in there because that's a scam they're used to, and as long as they win, they got the money. That's retarded. That would also be showing so many others they can do that. And if they were showing narcissists they qualities before they got up there, they're gonna be a narcissist when they lose. So that's crazy. You can't start telling everybody they can do it like that. Yes, fight for your rights if that's still our right. But that's abusing another person's rights to abuse your rights just to abuse somebody. It's stupid. Thank you guys for tuning in to another live segment with the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel family, where we share inspirational quotes, messages, and insightful topics weekly, and inspirational quotes daily. You should check them out. Give us a like, share, and subscribe, and until next time.